Hello and welcome to another motorcycle review. Now this one is a little bit different because I took delivery of my new bike just before the lockdown in the UK started in earnest. So I've only managed to do a couple of rides before the lockdown, and now I'm just doing trips out to the supermarket every so often and run some errands for some neighbours. So I haven't done that many miles, so this is very much a first impressions review of my brand new Yamaha XSR900. Now, also during the review, I'll be explaining why I sold my Triumph 1200 Scrambler. I'll be doing that towards the end of the video. But let's crack on and let's just have a quick chat about the XSR 900. Okay, probably the first thing to say about the bike is that, as you can see, it's got a bit of a custom paint job, so it's been painted in old style 350 LC colours, and I think it looks quite nice. But my first impressions of the bike, first of all, it's a pretty light bike, and the engine is just fabulous. I know it's been said many times about the MT09 and XSR 900 engine, but it really is a cracker. It spins up so quickly, it almost feels as though there's no kind of crankshaft weight, and actually it does feel quite two-strokey in that sense, but it feels like a two-stroke, but it's got loads of torque to actually back it up. So the engine is just staggering, just a gorgeous thing to use, but it's not overpoweringly fast. It's just like a perfect mix for squirting out of corners, squirting round bends and squirting down through the straights. It's just a brilliant bike. Controls are all light, clutch is really light, gearbox is a little bit clunky in the first 2 or 3 gears, but after that it's all absolutely fine. The brakes are okay, they're good, they're strong enough, you know, they haven't got that kind of instant bite that you would expect. I mean, it's got rubber hoses, doesn't have braided steel on there, so you probably get what you pay for. But, you know, overall the brakes are perfectly good. From a suspension perspective, it's pretty hard suspension, but I'm finding it works quite well for me. I weigh about 12 stone, and on the kind of bumpy roads that I ride along, you know, it works just fine. It does jolt me out of the seat occasionally, but having said that, it's a pretty controlled ride. One thing though, the seat is pretty hard, so as I say, I've not really done very long rides given the circumstances. I've probably done the longest ride I have done is probably about an hour, and you do just start to feel it in your backside just a little bit. So but you know, it's no big deal, and I'm sure I'll get used to it. Other bits and pieces on the bike, you know, it's just simple. It's a simple bike to ride and use. You know, the dash is relatively simple. There's only 3 rider modes, and on that point I've been leaving it in rider mode A, which I think is the most aggressive, and you know, it works just fine. You know, it's not like a light switch, but you've got an instant link between your throttle hand and the fuel injection, and for me it feels perfectly controllable and it's lots of fun. So overall, I'm having a cracking time on the XSR 900, and I think, you know, the reason why I bought it, I'm actually fulfilling it at the moment, even on these short rides. It's really easy to ride, it's very light, it's very flickable, it's not intimidating, but it goes like stink. It looks relatively low key, but it goes like stink. So in some ways, you know, it's like a bit of a street sleeper, which I quite like. It's not ostentatious. It looks great in a kind of understated way, and you know, it's not too blingy, which is something I really appreciate in a motorbike. And maybe that's one of the reasons why the Triumph 1200 Scrambler and myself didn't get on. So overall, it's a great bike. I'm still running it in, and you know, I'm really looking forward to when the lockdown finishes so I can unleash the full potential of the engine. Now, you might wonder why I'm wearing a cap while I'm indoors. Well, I haven't had a haircut for about a month, and to be honest with you, I kind of look a bit like Billy Whiz, and also I look a little bit like my dad, and you know, that's not like a good thing. You know, as much as I love my dad, you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see your dad, then you think, yeah, okay. Anyway, so that's why I'm wearing the cap. Anyway, to sum up, the XSR 900, it's a fabulous bike, it's a simple bike, it's light, it's easy to ride, it's a lot of fun, it's frisky, and in some ways it does remind me a lot of my Ducati 939 Hyperstrada. It's got like a sense of vivaciousness, but it's not so big and heavy that you feel intimidated by it. It's just a cracking bike. And as you can see from the seat height, It's still a pretty low bike. I can, easily get my feet flat-footed on both sides of the bike, and I'm 5'10". But I probably would say the bike is probably a little bit higher than you might think it is. But it gives you a really good riding position. No aches in your wrists, no aches in your arms, no aches in your legs. And actually, from a wind blast perspective, I'm finding it pretty good as well. So overall, a fabulous bike. I just can't wait to open it up on the open road. Anyway, I hope that helps. It's a bit of a different video. Can't go into too much detail because I haven't been really riding it all that long, but it's a great bike. I'm really glad I bought it. It's exactly what I wanted. It's fizzy, it's exuberant, and it feels a lot of fun. Okay, next part of this video is going to be me describing why I sold my Triumph 1200. So if you want to, you can switch off now. Anyway, it's been great talking to you, and cheery bye. Okay, so just a quick update on why I sold my 1200 Scrambler XE. I'll have to have a drink first. Well, it wasn't because of the heat of the engine, the exhaust, or the keyless ignition, even though the two of those things were a bit of a faff. No, it was a combination of the engine characteristics. It's like a really torquey engine. It makes all of its torque really low down, with what felt to me like relatively low gearing. So basically, I'd find myself changing up through the first 4 gears like really quickly, and then just leaving it in 4th, 5th, or even 6th for the rest of the day or the rest of the week. And I don't know, I just kind of like found that a bit dull, to be honest. I mean, I like chasing revs, I like using the gearbox, and I also like using the clutch. But with the Triumph, you don't have to do that. But I also know that's what it was designed for. So for me, personally, that was the reason that I sold it. I wanted an engine that just felt a little bit more engaging and felt like I had to just work a little bit more to get the best out of it. With the Triumph, it's a lazy engine in the sense that you don't have to work at it to get the best and to get the power. I want to work at riding a bike. I want to change gear, I want to feel the clutch, I want to feel what the engine's doing, and for that reason the Triumph didn't really do it for me, and that's why I sold it and got the XSR900, which you have to do all of those things. You can rev it, you need to use the gears, and it's just a great bike to ride, and I love the engine a lot more. Having said that, the Triumph is a brilliant bike. These are just my personal opinions and reasons as to why I sold it. It's still a great bike. Okay, cheery bye.